Now I'm going to introduce you to the 5 steps of the UNB method. Then we're going to sit down and go through it step by step so that you can apply it in your life from this moment. So let's get into it. The first step is discover. The second step is feel. The third step is need. The fourth step is experience. And the fifth step is transform. And the purpose of this is to do exactly what we have spoke about in this video so far, to enable you to break down those 3 patterns. Your experience of blushing in itself, your thoughts, your ruminations throughout the entire day about blushing, and thirdly, the conclusions you make, whether they're automatic, whether they're unconscious, the beliefs, the conclusions, the things you believe about blushing that are keeping you stuck every single day. And what this method will do, it will enable you to move in the exact opposite direction. So instead of you feeling heavier, more burdened, more frustrated, having more negative thoughts every single day about blushing, therefore the experience getting worse, it's moving you in the opposite direction, where your conclusions are shifting, where you're feeling different, you're thinking different, you're behaving differently when you're blushing. Your thoughts in between are more uplifting and more connected and more empowering and moving you in the opposite direction. And the benefit about this method is it's not a one-off technique. So the idea isn't for you to do it once and then you're cured for the rest of your life, which would be nice. But the purpose is for any person, whether your blushing is, whether you're 15 years old watching this video now and you've just experienced blushing, whether you're 50 years old, as many of my clients are, you've experienced excessive, painful, long-term blushing for much of your life. The goal is that you consistently cultivate and move and build in that direction. So each time that you do it, it breaks down that pattern, it shifts your brain, your neural pathways in the opposite direction, and it moves you forward step by step by step. Right, let's go for it, guys.
Welcome to the 5 steps of the unblushing method presented by Paul Wood. So the first step is to discover and observe. Now imagine right now that you're experiencing any one of those 3 scenarios. So you're having ruminating, you're thinking about blushing and that's making you feel uncomfortable or sad or frustrated in some way. Secondly, you've just experienced blushing or you're currently experiencing blushing right now. Or thirdly, you're at the time, the key point for your brain, where just after you've blushed, you're then making an unconscious conclusion about the meaning behind it. Now what I want you to do for the first step is just discover and observe neutrally. Just notice what is going on. Notice how you're thinking, notice how you're feeling, notice the discomfort you might feel in your body. Then ask yourself, how do you feel? Not how do you think, but actually how do you feel? Not in terms of I feel like I don't want to blush or I hate blushing or those types of things, but actually notice how you feel within yourself. And what that'll do, that'll connect you to the actual feelings, the expression that's going on within you behind your blushing. And thirdly, moving you forward to what do you need? You know, within every feeling is a message from your brain to tell you that something is going on, to tell you that something needs to happen, to tell you that something needs to change in order for you to take the next step forward and move away from blushing in a way that's right for you. Step 4, shift your experience. You've identified how you're feeling, you've identified what you need to move forward. Step 4 is shifting your experience. It's moving you away from those patterns, from those problems, and beginning to shift your neural pathways, shift your brain, and move you forward, building and strengthening the new connections that you're creating. Step 5, transform your life. So what's happened is you've shifted your mindset. You began to think differently, you began to feel differently, and now you're beginning to lay down those new pathways in your brain and helping you move forward in a way that's right for you. So how does that look? Let's go through it step by step, one by one. So firstly, step 1, discover and observe what is happening. Just notice neutrally what is happening around you. So if right now you have any thoughts about blushing, you feel uncomfortable about blushing, whatever it is, just notice what is going on neutrally. For example, you may say, right now I'm having the thought that I think I'm worthless if I blush. Right now I'm having the thought that I'm always going to blush. Right now I'm having the thought that blushing is the worst problem in my life. Just notice it neutrally as a thought, as if it was just a writing on the wall. Then step 2, notice how that makes you feel. You might feel agitated, you might feel helpless, you might feel ashamed, embarrassed, guilty, sad, afraid, but notice it. Go through that list and actually notice how in particular you are feeling right now. And as you settle into that feeling, move on to step 3. Ask yourself, what is it that you need? Your brain might instantly say, I just want to stop blushing. That's not empowering. It's not empowering to focus on not doing something, to not have a certain response. What's empowering is to focus on what are your needs beneath that feeling. What are your needs beneath your want to stop blushing? You might need safety and security. You might need understanding. You might need a sense of freedom in what's going on in your life right now. You might need a sense of clarity. You might need a sense of acceptance. You might need a sense of assurance. So let's go through that one by one. So imagine that you've just blushed. It was a nasty experience or you didn't like it. You might have noticed that you felt helpless, you felt ashamed, you felt embarrassed in the situation. Now look into what you need. You might need safety and security, a sense of comfort in the situation. You might want clarity as to how to move forward and away from it. You might want acceptance, accepting that you've had a bad experience and you can draw a line in the sand and move forward. You might want reassurance. You might want compassion from someone in order to help you calm down and feel more comfortable in yourself. That moves you on to step 4. Step 4, now who would you be if that need was met? So imagine right now that you had the safety and security you need when you experience blushing. You had the understanding, you had the freedom, you had the clarity, you had the acceptance, you had the reassurance. Imagine that your needs were met. And how would you be? Who would you be if that need was met? So imagine that you've just experienced blushing in a negative way, and you just identified that you really need to feel safe, you really need security, and you really want clarity in terms of knowing that you can move forward away from blushing. And with that gives you the stability you need to see things in a different perspective. Now visualize and experience it being true. So ask yourself the question, who would you be if that need was met? So who would you be if you had your needs met when you were blushing, so the entire experience changed, your thinking, the way you felt, so you could experience blushing as everyone else does, as someone else does who's never even in their life experienced it in a bad way. So science has shown, research has shown that every person blushes, but strangely enough, at least 80% of people don't notice that they do blush. So when they blush, they're not even aware of it. The experience has that little impact on them that it doesn't even come into their conscious level of awareness. It's just something that passes through. So they have complete acceptance towards blushing, whereas everyone that feels uncomfortable towards it has complete resistance in the opposite direction. So visualize and experience it being true. Imagine how it would be to have your needs met, so you could experience blushing as you would do, maybe as you have done previously in your life, at a point where it didn't bother you, it didn't have any impact on you in any way. And just let that sink in. Let yourself begin to shift that as the blueprint for your mind. Let it sink down into your unconscious mind. Then step 5, after you've begun to experience that within yourself, say to yourself either out loud or in your head, I release all resistance towards blushing at every level, on every level, at all points in time. I'll say that again. I release all resistance towards blushing on every level at all points in time. Then I allow myself to enjoy and appreciate my new relationships with blushing, which meets my need for, and then go back to the need that you stated in the time before. So I might say I allow myself to enjoy and appreciate my new relationship with blushing, which meets my need for safety and security, which meets my need for acceptance, which meets my need for reassurance that you are good enough regardless if you blush, reassurance that you're a good person, you're a happy person, you're fine as you are regardless if you blush. And connecting those things together. Now this is a universal method, so as I said before, the process, the whole purpose is, obviously using this method once has no impact at all on you, but the benefit is you can use it in every situation throughout the entire day at any time that you want to, and each time that you use it, the effect will grow and grow and grow and grow. The effect will build and build and build. The effect will strengthen and strengthen and strengthen and build you in the direction which is right for you. So have faith in that. It's not about hit or miss. It's not about black or white. It's not about trying something once. It's not about will it work or will it won't work. It always works for every person who applies it each day consistently and allows yourself to do one thing, knowing that realistically you do something already anyway. So it doesn't take any time, it doesn't take any effort, it doesn't take any energy. Realistically, already you think about blushing throughout the day. Already you do something when you're experiencing blushing. Yeah. Maybe you do the opposite to these steps. Already you make certain conclusions and thoughts and ideas about blushing after you experience it. So already you follow this process. You just follow it unwittingly. You just follow it without any conscious or rational thought. So every single day that you apply this, it builds you forward. The steps grow stronger and stronger. It affects your mind in a more and more powerful way and creates the very changes that you want to happen for yourself. So as it's day 2 today, just allow yourself to begin to apply it. Don't go into it fully just yet, but just begin to experience it. So if today you don't blush and you're just having negative thoughts about blushing or feelings about blushing, just allow yourself just to go through it casually throughout the day today and begin to apply it in your life. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Brilliant. Well, I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care.